Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. We got a big edition of Inazuma Walker to go through this week. What's up, YouTube? LucasTV719 here with my overview on the Inazuma Walker Volume 8 Spectacular. Now, they said this Walker would be a special, and they were not kidding. They even made sure to get through all the boring stuff first, so I think I'm going to do the same. So, they began with their memories of the series segment, with a theme from last time being an ultra dimension near you. So basically they were talking about cool stuff that happened to them IRL. So next time the theme is telling Hino about your experiences with the game. Basically if you had a hard time recruiting a character or a hard time in a match against a really tough team, stuff like that. As usual, if you can write Japanese, you can post your own memories via Twitter through a link that I'll put in the description. So, now that we got all the boring stuff out of the way, time to get to the special in the Inazuma Walker special. Here is where the guests came in. First up, Endo's voice actor Taekuchi Junko. Second, Tenma's voice actor Yuka Terasaki. And last but not least, Asuto's voice actor Murase Ayumu. Now we got the Pro Tag Trio voice actors on with Hino and Mo, so they went straight to the reading famous lines segment of the show. Now, I'm not going to mention all the lines they said, but you can guarantee they read Endo and Tenma's trademark phrases Saka Yarose and, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's pronounced Nanto ka Narusa. Things will work out somehow. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that one. However, for Asuto, he doesn't really have a phrase of his own right now. He kind of has the finger gun thing going on. So he kind of just read parts from the Ada's first trailer. Gotta make do with what you got, right? So after reading the famous lines, they talked about each of the main characters in detail, basically with 3 keywords describing them. Starting off with Endo, his first keyword was Sakabaka, basically soccer idiot. He is basically obsessed with soccer. It's on his mind all the time. It's used to mention him all the time. It's even used to mention Daisuke, and when Daisuke sees him for the first time, he's like, that's the face of a soccer idiot. His second point was that he's a pretty positive guy. Endo always sees like the good in every situation. He's only been down for like 2 episodes, but all the other time he's completely positive, always seeing the bright side. And last but not least was how he was a goalkeeper but was the protagonist. Usually in soccer, if you're going to tell a story, you usually focus on the forwards or midfield because they're the ones doing all the flashy moves and scoring the goals. So having a goalkeeper as the protagonist was a nice change, a different point of view if you will. Pretty on point on all accounts for Endo. As for Tenma, they mentioned his first keyword as he was an amateur at first, and that's pretty on point. He pretty much sucked at everything except dribbling, but he kept building up his skills, and basically he's one of the most all-rounded players in all of Inazuma. He actually has a move for every single position. I mean, you could say God Hand W is kind of a cop-out, but basically he's good on all accounts. He's a great dribbler, great defender, and pretty good shooter as well. His second point, they talked about his hair, how it's just naturally curly and whatnot. Now, while this makes little sense, it is funny, because I remember when Tenma was first revealed, all the rage was what is up with his hair? What's with the swirls he's got going there? So it gives me a little nostalgia when they started talking about that. And third, of course, is how he's the first Inazuma time traveler. Yeah, Go really went out there with time travel and later on space. But the fact that they focused on time traveling is weird. How that's a key point for his character. Still good, I guess. I don't know why they chose to focus on that, but I'll let it slide. And as for Asuto, they first focused on how he's a country boy. He comes from the island of Inakuni. And basically he's not from the city like Endo and Tenma were. So he's from a completely other side of the spectrum. Second, they again talked about his hair. Though originally back in my Out of Scales, I was talking how it was porcupine-like. Here they said it's thorn-like hair. So I'm wondering if that's going to play a part in his Hisatsu. I'm not sure. I mean, Tenma's wind hair eventually played a part in his. So will it happen? Will he have like thorned shots? I don't know. It's weird. And his last one was Super Action Power. I have no idea what to make of that. Well, we don't know much about Asato, so I'm gonna let it slide. At least we got like some ideas of what to think about him. He's a country boy with thorn-like hair, and he's super action power. Oh well. Next up, let's get to the really big interesting things. The first thing being the first trailer for another episode 27, now known as Inazuma 11 Reloaded. Now, I usually talk about this stuff in a separate video and really dig into it, but since it's a small trailer, I'll try to go through it in this video. Now, Reloaded is exactly what we expected. It's Japan versus a foreign team whose overwhelming power seems to be the reason that Japan goes through all the changes that we're seeing in ADAs, such as the Reinforcement Committee and other things. However, the thing we learned in this trailer is what teams are playing in this match. Now, first off, the team representing Japan is actually the Raimon 11. From a previous Outer Code, we knew Goenji was on this team, but I actually expected it to be a more world selection-like team. I mean, I guess the number one in team in Japan is a good contender at least. In the case of their opponents, it's actually Spain's youth champions, a team known as Barcelona Orb. I'm guessing it's a nod to Spain's actual Barcelona team. Again, not what I was expecting. I mean, when I heard world-class skill in the previous Outer Code, I was hoping to see some faces from the FFI, but this actually opens up some new things. Now, to explain what I mean by that, we're going to have to go back a couple weeks. Now, before this Walker came out, an article in Famitsu magazine came out with some of the info we actually saw during this Walker. Now, this isn't the first time this happened. Back in Walker Volume 3, the same magazine gave the double K hint before Outer Code 3 came out. So in this magazine, there were two pictures I want to talk about. First, we got Endo's pick. While it's cool to see our favorite goalkeeper and his artist design, it's the character on the page I want to focus on. It's Noboru from Tonegawa Tosen. Now, while there's no confirmation, I'm pretty sure this plus the not so subtle hint from the second trailer places Endo as Tonegawa Tosen's Reinforcement Committee member. While no official source is going to state it, I'm locking it in. Final answer, all that good stuff, Endo is in Tonegawa Tosen. Second, we got the captain of Barcelona Orb. He actually has no current name to go off of. So, to make things easier, I'm going to call him Spanish Seki. By the way, Seki was that rough player from Hakuden Go. He kind of reminds me of him, and he's from Spain, ergo Spanish Seki. Now, Spanish Seki was also in the magazine, but beside him was the guy from the end of the second trailer who were all speculating to be the new villain. Well, him or his secretary, I'm open to both possibilities. Anyway, that guy is next to Spanish Seki in the same way as Noboru is to Endo. Since Spanish Seki is from Spain, it stands to reason that this guy could be from outside of Japan, meaning whatever the oddest things that is probably implementing into Japan's youth soccer might have originated outside of Japan, putting him as more of a worldwide villain, making the story probably crazier than we thought. Of course, that's just speculation, so grab your local salt shaker and pour yourself a bit of salt to put that with that, because a grain just isn't enough here. Anyway, The trailer shows Spanish Seki and his team pretty much running a train on Raimon. A thing to note is that Majin the Hand is getting a pretty drastic redesign. I actually kind of like it. I don't know the reason, but personally I think they're trying to keep it from looking too much like a Kishin. That's why I kind of like it a lot, because Kishin, like Majin Great, just looked like a bigger Majin the Hand. So making Majin the Hand look different kind of separates it a bit from Kishin. I mean, that's how I see it. I like the new redesign. That's that. Along with the trailer for Inazuma 11 Reloaded, we got a new trailer for episode 1 of Hades. Now, it's pretty much an extended version of the original Hades trailer. It ends with Haizaki laughing during the first match, although this trailer focuses a bit more on the members of Inakuni Raimon. Both Inazuma 11 Reloaded trailer and this trailer are on my channel, so you can watch it and see what I mean. Now, both Reloaded and an extended director's cut-like version of episode 1 of Hades will both be airing at the Inazuma Festival on January 21st, which is at the Tokyo Big Sight in Japan. Info on tickets will actually be coming out during the next Walker, for those of you who actually live nearby and might be thinking of attending. Next was our first look at some gameplay footage. Now, the footage that they shown is pretty early in the game's testing stages, which is why Seishou Gakuen doesn't show any attacking during this test. So according to Hino, this game seems to be taking a page from Pokemon Sun and Moon in the way that they're moving away from chibi characters to more anime-like graphics and character models. For its early stages, it's looking pretty good. They even give my boy Gojin some starlight as he scores in the test. Speaking of which, Gojin seems to be a wood type, even though he was previously confirmed as a fire type character. I don't know if it's an early game thing they haven't got to and changed his type, or maybe they just changed his type to wood and trying to make it more balanced. But it's something small, so it doesn't really matter all that much. And finally, we got the platforms for which this game is coming on. Get this, it's the Switch, the PS4, iOS, and Android. Now the Switch we kind of all expected. It was already past 3DS graphics and we knew it was coming on the Nintendo console. But the other three is one I want to focus on. The PS4. This marks the first time a main Inazuma game is going beyond just the normal Nintendo handheld console. Also, this means no touchscreen controls, so I wonder how they want to work this game. Personally, I'm expecting something akin to Strikers if they're ditching the whole touchscreen aspect. As for iOS and Android, that's what worries me. While it's great that this will give more people the ability to play the game, I'm hoping the launch, including these two, don't hinder the Switch and PS4 versions of the game. I've heard of certain games not really being able to reach their full potential due to being spread across multiple platforms, so I really hope that's not the case here. Perhaps the Switch and PS4 games will be done their own way and have more capabilities than their smartphone counterparts. The games are currently expected to be released in the summer of 2018, so I guess I better start saving for a Switch. In other news, they're going to start playing the first season of the Inazuma 11 anime 5 episodes at a time on several websites. I'm not going to mention all the websites, I'm just going to say the Level 5 YouTube page, considering you're on YouTube right now if you're watching this video. Episodes 1 through 5 are up now and until November 20th. Then they're going to switch over to episodes 6 through 10 and so on and so forth until they get through season 1. Personally, I'm a bit excited since it is rare to see raw Inazuma 11 episodes, since all the ones you normally see are either subbed in English or another language. Also, within the episodes are supposed to be keywords, which if you put them in a certain link, again, I'll put it in the description, you can get a certain wallpaper they're saying. Lastly, there are several Inazuma events happening in certain Japan events, such as the AGT or the Animate Girls Festival, and at Kyushu Sedek 2017, the latter actually having an appearance with Hino and the composer of Inazuma, Yasunori Mitsuda. The next Inazuma Walker will be on Saturday, November 25th at 8 p.m. JST. Remember to change JST to your local time zone if you want to catch it live. Only a month wait this time, so I'm excited. The main thing that they're doing during this Inazuma Walker is giving info on these Inazuma events, but that is pretty much pointless unless you live in Japan. But I am hoping for some other news, particularly anime, game, or even outer code related. We can only wait till then. Well, that wraps up our overview on Inazuma Walker Volume 8. If you want to specifically check out the trailers, they're on my channel now. I hope to see you all in my next video, be it Walker related or not. I'm LucasTV719. I'll see you all later.